Hello everyone, how your lives treating you? It's Eric Lima coming at you once again with another episode of EML77 TV, episode 250. What is going on? Today we're here to remember one of the greatest wrestling legends of the century. On this day, we lost a wrestling legend due to to an accident that happened with his entrance. To like a long story short, Owen Hart, who was under the Blue Blazer gimmick at that time, was slated to challenge the Godfather for the Intercontinental Championship at a pay-per-view called Over the Edge. He was supposed to come down as a superhero, supposed to be like a funny superhero because Owen Hart's been known for his sense of humor. But something went wrong with the equipment, and it caused him to fall a little bit over 70 feet. Some say 90 feet, but over 70 feet to his he hit his head on the buckle, was unresponsive, went to the hospital 15 minutes later. As we arrived there, he was pronounced dead. But we're not here to talk about what happened at that pay-per-view. We're here to talk about Owen Hart and how much of a awesome career Owen Hart had. He was he was the youngest of 12 children in the famous Hart wrestling family. He debuted as the Blue Blazer back in late '84. '85 had his first WrestleMania match against Mr. Perfect, which Perfect defeated him, and then traveled all over the world, including WCW at one point. Came back under his real name and teamed up with Jim the Anvil Neidhart in late '91, early '92 to form the new foundation. When Bret Hart went to have a single success career as the Intercontinental Champion at that time. Owen and Anvil faced the Orient Express at the Royal Rumble, defeated them. Owen Hart got a taste of singles competition when he faced Skinner at WrestleMania 8, defeated him. After a while, he teamed up with Coco Beware in '92 as High Energy, and they almost won the tag team titles for Money Incorporated. Afterwards, when the team split up, Owen Hart got involved in the feud with Bret Hart's feud with Jerry the King Lawler, where when Bret Hart won the King of the Ring back in 1993, Lawler assaulted him and started insulting the Hart family, which prompted Owen to stand up for his family's honor. After Jerry the King Lawler defeated him, he decided that also Owen Hart was involved in a feud with Bret Hart and Razor. Owen Hart was involved in the Bret Hart Razor Ramon feud when Razor Ramon attacked Owen to send a message to Bret back in the 1992 Royal Rumble. Or 1993, Royal Rumble, when Bret was challenged by Razor for the WWE Championship. Then the feud went all the way to Survivor Series, only for Lawler to be replaced by Shawn Michaels. A miscommunication almost set both brothers at each other's throats. They patched things up during the holiday season, and Bret Hart decided to commit himself to tag team wrestling with Owen and to help Owen out. Bret Hart and Owen had a tag team title shot against the Quebecers at the '94 Royal Rumble. They lost the match, prompting Owen to turn against Bret, and then feuding with Bret culminating in a match at WrestleMania 10 between the two brothers, which Owen defeated Bret. Later on in that card, Bret Hart became the WWE Champion, defeating Yokozuna for a second time. Owen Hart decided to follow in his brother's footsteps, so to speak, and went after the King of the Ring. Bret Hart was defending his title against Diesel on that same card. Bret Hart says he'll have a family member watching his back, and that family member was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Neidhart interfered in the matchup between Bret and Diesel, causing Bret to be disqualified. Now, Bret did not know why at that point, but later on, we all know why. Owen Hart was fighting Razor Ramon in the tournament final to become king. But Anvil got involved in the matchup. Everybody thought Anvil was helping out Razor. Anvil attacked Razor, giving Owen the victory. It was all an elaborate plan by Owen Hart to get Owen Hart, the King of the Ring, to face Bret Hart, the WWE Champion. That match culminated in SummerSlam 1994 in a steel cage. Bret the Hitman Hart won. But Owen Hart was not done with Bret. Survivor Series 1994, Bret Hart was embroiled in a feud with Bob Backlund in a submission match for the WWE Championship. Sorry about that. And at that point, Owen Hart was in Backlund's corner, while the British Bulldog, who also returned to the WWE, along with Anvil, became in Bret Hart's corner. Owen Hart knocked out the British Bulldog in the matchup. Owen Hart pleaded with his mother to throw in the towel. Owen's mother threw in the towel, costing Bret the title. Then in 1995, Owen decided to go on a quest to become the tag team champion. With whom, though? He decided to challenge the Smoking Guns for the tag team titles with a mystery partner. That mystery partner was Yokozuna. Owen Hart and Yokozuna won. They got embroiled in a feud with the Allied powers. That would be Lex Luger and the British Bulldog. But then 1995 came around. Owen Hart was battling in the undercard still. And then luck would have it, British Bulldog turned against Diesel in summer of 1995. Bulldog and Owen decided to join forces as a tag team and became successful tag team champions under the guise of Jim Cornette. Then, in 96, it got a little bit more foggy. When Owen and Bulldog still joined forces late 96, they were managed by Clarence Mason, and there was a disagreement between the two of them. In 97, things got worse when British Bulldog became the first ever European champion at the time, when the two were still tag team champions. Afterwards, Bret Hart convinced the two brothers to join forces with him in 1997 after Bret Hart had enough of being disrespected by the American fans in his feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels. Bret, Owen, and Bulldog came back together. And Anvil and Brian Pillman joined them as the new Hart Foundation. The Hart Foundation started collecting gold. Bret Hart became WWE champion. Bulldog was still European Tag Team champion. Owen Hart was still Tag Team champion. Then they snagged the Intercontinental title. It was all fine and grand until Brian Pillman tragically passed away, leaving the four remaining members of the Hart Foundation to defend for themselves. They embroidered on the feud with Nation of Domination, and then D-Generation X, newly formed at that time. And Survivor Series, we say more. Montreal Screwjob. Three of the four members of that Hart Foundation left to go to WCW, leaving Owen to defend for himself and defend for his family's honor against Shawn Michaels. Then he shifted his focus on Triple H for the European title. After Triple H tried to pull a stunt where Hunter Dust filled in for the real Hunter and was pinned by Owen Hart, but Triple H thought he pulled the wool over it once and he doesn't get the title, he just fought Goldust. But Sergeant Slaughter decided to turn the tables on them as commissioner by saying he's awarding Owen the title. Thanks to China, Triple H got the title back, and it got to the point where Owen Hart was getting sick of everything. Circa 1998, after failing many times to defeat Triple H, thanks to China's interference, Owen Hart was fed up. So Owen Hart made a sacrifice of being popular by turning against Ken Shamrock in a tag match against The Rock and Mark Henry, and joined forces with The Rock and The Nation. Since then, Owen Hart enjoyed success within the nation, feuding with Ken Shamrock and D-Generation X. After the nation kind of parted ways back in 1998, Owen Hart decided to join forces with Jeff Jarrett, Canadian Country, and they became tag team champions with Deborah as their manager. And then after they lost the tag team titles to X-Pac and Kane, Owen Hart mysteriously disappeared for a bit until he reappeared as the Blue Blazer helping out Jeff Jarrett. There's a couple of times where Coco Beware appeared as the Blue Blazer. So Owen Hart was playing mind games, helping out Jeff Jarrett. And then in a feud with the Godfather, when the Godfather captured the Intercontinental title. And so Owen Hart was, as the Blue Blazer, decided he's going to be the superhero to cleanse the World Wrestling Federation of all evil. And Godfather is evil. Although that feud never came to fruition until the untimely passing. Owen Hart was a loving husband to Martha and a loving father to his son OJ and his daughter Athena. A loving brother to his 11 siblings, including Bruce, Keith, Smith, Brett. I can go down the line. To Diana included. A loving brother-in-law to Jim and Davey, a.k.a. Anvil and Bulldog. He was quite the prankster when a lot of wrestlers told funny Owen stories, especially when Dustin Rhodes says that they were over at Harley Race's house and Owen put hot sauce in his chili. And Owen got a lot of heat for that. Owen Hart used to do pizza delivery practical prank calls. And Owen Hart used to prank his brother, too. And it was... And his brother pranked him back. They had a lot of fun. Owen had and him and Bulldog were quite the pranksters, so they had a lot of fun. At one time, Owen Hart was referred to as, in a derogatory term, a nugget. To me, I don't think he was a nugget. He never was. He was a wrestling gem. I remember Mick Foley telling the story about how his kids used to chant "Nugget, Nugget," where Mick says that's not nice to say. Which they didn't. His kids were very young; they didn't understand. But he thought it was a term of endearment, for Owen. But Owen Hart was never a nugget. He was always been this diamond gem, a wrestling gem, and he always would be missed. It would be funny, though, what would happen if Owen was still alive today, though. Not funny, but it would be interesting to see what would have happened if Owen was still alive today. Would Owen be the originator to write the censor as the Blue Blazer? Will Owen lead the charge of the invasion? Would he have done that? Would Owen be the WWE champion? Would Owen be part of the union that feuded against corporate ministry? Owen Hart wanted to be a school teacher if he did retire. And that would be really cool. Teaching kids, and then they ask him about his wrestling career. Who knows? Who knows what would have happened? Would he be coming back as a coach for NXT, the Performance Center? Or would he come back with his brother Brett and said, "Hey, we're going to challenge you and your son to a tag match at WrestleMania"? The possibilities could have been endless if Owen Hart was still alive today. But his legacy lives on, though, through his niece Natalia, who I have the honor of having her follow me on Twitter. The Hart family is my favorite wrestling family of all time. The Johnsons, Peter Maivia, Rocky Johnson, and Dwayne, right up there. The Samoan family comes in second. The Samoan dynasty. And it also lives through in his other nephew, Davey Boy Smith Jr., a.k.a. Harry Smith, another one I had follow me on Twitter, along with his niece, along with Owen's niece, Georgia, a.k.a. Harry's sister, daughter of the British Bulldog. Owen is missed, and I know Brett misses him every single day. I'm sure Martha and OG and Athena miss him every single day. But to Owen's family, Martha, OG, and Athena, I'd like to ask you guys one thing. I know you're upset with the WWE, the way they handled that situation. I don't know how bitter you are today, but I ask you to put your bitterness aside and allow the WWE to induct Owen into the WWE, to their Hall of Fame. I'm not asking for the company. I'm not asking for the fans. I'm asking for this fan. Owen Hart was one of my favorite hero wrestlers. The Hart family has been my favorite wrestling family. And I would love, and after hearing all the stories about Owen, I would like for Owen to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So Martha, if you're watching this or if you end up catching this, please. We Owen Hart fans, the wrestling fans, we love Owen. And we like for him to take his rightful place. I don't know if he would want that, but it's not the purpose of making money off him. We just want him in because he was one of the best ever. One of the best without being the world champion. Former Intercontinental, European, and Tag Team champion. Owen Hart was one of the best at what he did. We miss Owen. We love Owen Hart. Hopefully one day we will see Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. Until that day comes, we can't not stop believing. Never say never. We just hope that Martha feels that in her heart too. That she lets go of the anger and bitterness towards the WWE. And we pray that she allows her husband to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He needs to be honored the proper way. Owen Hart, we miss you. Rest in peace, my friend. You were a friend to us wrestling fans when we watch you. You were never a nugget, Owen. You always will be a diamond gem to all of us wrestling fans, all your fans. Owen Hart, we will never forget you. May your legacy live on through your niece, Natty, and through your nephew, Harry. They carry on that legacy, the Hart family legacy now, no matter where they're at. Owen Hart, you are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, just like your brother Brett. Till we meet again. So that's all the time we have on the show. I never met Owen Hart personally, but you know what I mean. So that's it. That's all the time we have on this episode. Owen Hart will always be remembered. I'm sure the Lord got him, Anvil, and Bulldog pulling practical jokes on the other wrestlers that have gone on before us. Every time I talk like this, it's like I feel like I'm connecting with the wrestlers with respect and honor, as always. So, that's it. This episode's over. God's love and life and light to all of you. Catch you on the flip side. Remember, pay attention. You might learn something. We'll miss you, Owen Hart. Peace. As for you others out there, see you in episode 251. Good day.